Well, good day, everybody. Let's jump right in. Let's talk about lean hogs. And as you know, I've said it's a pretty strong contract. But today, we had initially a small pullback, and then we rallied a little bit better. But we ended up across the board fairly mixed. But it's good consolidation. I'd like to see that. So again, small pullback, then a little bit higher, mixed across the board. But we're not. We just hit the contract high of 77.60. That's going to be something that's going to kind of linger out in that chart that we're going to probably try to make some more runs at as we continue to see this demand and we continue to see lean hogs really in the headlines. So I think we're significantly higher since Thanksgiving. We're about 11 points higher from the 5-month low we printed back then, and it's been one step after another. Even as though we've seen these inputs get more expensive, and even though we've seen a lot of other reasons why you might be able to say, hey, we can take a break here. Yeah, we've had our down days, but again, this contract still continues to power forward, and we're setting new highs where we're using those as the next level to get to. I'm not saying we'll do that for obviously forever, but it's something we have to keep an eye on in the short term. Another word that's now starting to do the rounds, and I'm hearing more about it, right? My 33 year in the business, inflation. Inflation, now food inflation. Food inflation. And we can all agree that when we go to the store, things are expensive, or at least they're a lot more expensive to put on your table for dinner than they have been in the past. But a lot of times, and I'll put this out there, when we gauge the inflation in the country, a lot of times the inputs to what we're gauging that on change. But we can agree on one thing: there is definitely food inflation here, and that looks to be happening. We still have the demand from China. And that's going to be here, I think, at least for the short term for sure. And that buzzword inflation is going to stay around as we get worried about anything that's going to kind of move into that supply, right? So once you start to play with the supply, inflation starts to come up and we start to hear more and more about it. But again, that's all lending or trending to continue to keep this market, again, in the face of some of these inputs and other reasons why you might see a lid put on things. The market's just acting really resilient. So we'll see if it can continue to do so throughout the weekend and into next week. But interesting to see some good consolidation today and see if we can use that as some sort of support going forward. Have a good weekend.